Hello darlings, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a fun facts about me video. I noticed a comment on one of my other videos, I think it was the one about taking pictures of people without their permission, and one of you said that you thought you got to see a bit more of my personality in that video. And I realised that I haven't really done a video where I kind of just talk about myself and who I am and what I like and all of that sort of thing. So I thought, since my channel seems to be growing, which is really lovely, then it would be a nice thing to let you know a few things about myself. So I'm basically going to rattle off a whole bunch of facts until I can't think of any anymore, and we're going to see how this comes out. Fact number 1. I don't know if I'm going to do it in that format because a lot of sentences will probably contain 2 or 3 facts. My full name is Rhianne Kelly. I was not given a middle name, a fact I still like to tease my parents about, but my first name took a lot of figuring out apparently. It is spelt like this, and boy have I had some interesting spellings over the years. But it is Celtic and it means great queen, which I enjoy. I am currently 21 years old and I am a university graduate, and I studied theatre and English. I have always loved theatre and performing and singing. I've been singing basically my whole entire life. I think I loved it initially because singing is something Disney princesses did, and I was obsessed with Disney movies as a child. But I started training when I was 13 and I am still training now. My dream in life would be to get into opera once my voice matures a bit more and I've had a bit more experience. And I am a soprano, which you can tell by my other singing channel's name, Rhianne Kelly, the Vintage Soprano. This won't come as a shock to any of you, but I dress in vintage reproduction and vintage styled clothes all day, every day of my life. I started dressing this way about 2 to 3 years ago, and I don't see myself ever going back. I love how the clothes feel and how they look so much. It's so much fun to wear them, and I just feel like more myself when I'm wearing vintage clothes with a big poofy skirt than when I'm in normal clothing. My favourite colour is, unsurprisingly, pink. And no, I did not paint this room, I just happened to get a pink room for my university house, which is amazing. But my favourite colour has always been pink since I was a little girl. I went through a phase when I was a teenager where I said that my favourite colour was purple because I thought purple was cooler, but really it was actually pink the entire time and I was just lying to myself. I think part of the reason why I love pink so much is because it is the colour associated with Barbies, which I was obsessed with Barbies as a child. I think at my height I had, it was like over 70, it was something ridiculous, Barbie dolls, and I really liked that, and Barbie was obviously always associated with pink, and also Cinderella's first ball dress and Aurora's dress were both pink as well, and I really liked Disney, so I think that might be where that comes from. But I've always just had an affinity towards the colour. It just makes me happy when I see the colour pink. As a child, I had some very strong opinions on things that I would never do, including never getting my ears pierced, never dyeing my hair, never cutting my hair, and that I would never receive an injection in my life. Context for that last one, and also another fun fact, I have a crippling phobia of needles. When I say phobia, I do not mean what some people mean when they say phobia, which means, oh, I don't really like it. I mean that when I think about having to get an injection, my heart races, I become short of breath. If I'm in the same room as someone having an injection, I get very dizzy and lightheaded and am liable to almost pass out. I've never actually passed out. And it makes me feel really sick. I've had nightmares about it. This is a phobia in the actual phobia way. However, I do still get all of the mandatory vaccinations that I have to get, because vaccinating yourself is vital. Something I did not realise as a child, but vaccinations are very important. But I have never had a blood test, and if anyone ever tries to give me one, I think I may just discover the key to teleportation in my rush to get away. As noted, I said I would never dye my hair, and yet here we are. But my natural hair colour, which you will see if you go all the way back to the beginning of my channel, to my first videos, which were terrible. It's really weird looking back on them now, but my natural hair colour is brown, and I have dyed it many colours over the years. The first colour I dyed it, I think, was sort of a dark purplish colour, and then I've been sort of pinky purple, I've been bright magenta, I've been very, very dark brown, almost verging on black. I then went to kind of a golden colour, then to full blonde, and now to this gorgeous red ginger auburn that will fade out to a sort of golden auburny colour once the brightness has faded out. And I think every time someone gets a new hair colour, they say, oh, this is my favourite, this is my favourite, but this really is genuinely my favourite hair colour I've ever had. I think it really suits me. I love how I feel with this ginger hair, so I can't see myself straying from it in the near future. I definitely love it. When I was little, I said that I wanted to be a ballerina because I had no concept of the hard work and training that ballerinas actually had to go through, and surprise, surprise, I am not. And I think a main reason for me wanting to be a ballerina was because of Barbies, the Nutcracker movie. Oh, who remembers the Barbie movies? I loved the Barbie movies. That's another fact. I loved the Barbie movies. Speaking of films, my favourite film of all time is Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I think that it is one of the best films that has ever been made, and it is an animated cinematic masterpiece and a true classic, and it makes me so happy when I watch it. But some of my other favourite films are Ballet Shoes, My Week with Marilyn, the Twilight films. I'm one of those people who unashamedly loves the Twilight films and loves the books. Moving on from that, the Host film, what other films do I love? I love so many films. I love so many films. And of course, my favourite Marilyn Monroe films are Ladies of the Chorus and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. And my favourite Audrey Hepburn film that I've seen so far is Sabrina. I think almost every vintage girl has a bit of a thing for Marilyn Monroe, and I am no exception. When I was little, my nanny was obsessed with Marilyn. She has loads of pictures of Marilyn in her house, and I never really understood why people loved her so much. And then when I got into vintage a few years ago, I suddenly kind of realised, I was like, okay, yeah, I understand it. There's something so captivating about her. And my favourite pictures of Marilyn are actually photos from when she was a bit younger, before she really hit stardom, where she has like the longer hair. There are some really pretty ones online, and those are the pictures that I find most beautiful of her, before she truly kind of transformed into the Marilyn that the public knows more. And I have a similar fascination with Audrey Hepburn. I find it really interesting how really accomplished and how many different things she was. You know, she was a dancer, she spoke 5 languages, she did loads of work for UN, and I feel like she's sometimes only remembered for her pretty face, and that's a massive shame in my opinion. My favourite drink is a toss-up between Pepsi Max and Dr. Pepper, both of which I drink way too much of. And my favourite foods, one of them has to be chicken nuggets. I could eat chicken nuggets every day of my life. But other favourite meals are bangers and mash, sweet and sour chicken, with naan bread, a full roast like my nanny used to make, and what else do I like? I like everything. I like food. I really do. I like food a lot. Oh, one of my other favourite movies is Pleasantville. I forgot about that. I love Pleasantville. Oh my god, I love Pleasantville. So good. So funny. I am a big reader. It is something that I am getting back into. I used to read constantly as a child. I had a very advanced reading age when I was in primary school, and I just really could not get enough of books, and I found it amazing how they could transport you to all of these different places, and it's the reason why I have such a big imagination is because I was reading so much when I was a child. And the first book series that I think I ever read in my whole life was, other than the Dr. Seuss books, the first proper book series that I read with my dad. He would read it to me before I went to bed, and those were the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, and I still love those books. They were so good. When I was a child, I had a very, very articulated voice. I sounded like Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. As I've gotten older, I've lost a lot of the articulation, which is something I've become annoyingly aware of in the past sort of year, and I have been making a conscious effort to make sure that I speak properly and that I articulate all of the different letters in each word, but I forget a lot, so this means that my voice can be wildly inconsistent over the course of even a conversation, and probably this video because I just this second became aware of it. One of my favourite places on the entire planet is Disney World in Florida. I've been twice, and I would go every single year if I could. I truly think it is one of the happiest places on earth. It makes me so happy to be there, and I love that everyone is so happy and so excited, and it really is a place where it feels like dreams can come true, and it just makes me really happy. My positive mantras for life are positive outcomes only. This is something that I've been saying since middle school, and confessions, I actually took this from the show Hellcats. I don't know if anyone remembers that. It was a cheerleading show with Ashley Tisdale and Ali Michalka, and I was obsessed with it. And the Ashley Tisdale's character Savannah was really perky and optimistic, and she would say positive outcomes only, and it's something that I've adopted and that I love saying and believing. I think it's a really helpful mantra to keep. I also love With a Smile and a Song from Snow White. Carlan. Dreams can come true, which is something that I fervently believe in. And my positive mantra for when I'm going through difficulties is you are strong, you are kind, you are powerful, you are divine. And it really helps me to work through the toughest times of my life. Some of my favourite smells are the smell of chocolate, coconut smell, peach smell. I'm mostly just thinking of like scents from Too Faced palettes because they always smell really good. Vanilla is a really, really good one. And the smell of rain. Rain smell is good smell, in my opinion. The minute you walked in the joint. My favourite musical of all time is The Phantom of the Opera. I saw the movie when I was probably far too young to see it. I think I was about 7 or 8. And everyone in my family was obsessed with it, and I kind of didn't understand why. And then when I started singing lessons at 13, my teacher asked me to find a really challenging song that I wanted to learn, and I rediscovered the song Think of Me from Phantom of the Opera, which is still one of my standbys today. And I just fell back in love with the musical, and when I was a bit older I could really appreciate it. I saw it live for the first time last year for my 21st birthday, and it was everything I've dreamed of, and my biggest dream in life is to play Christine, I think my soul would ascend to a whole nother realm if I could play Christine. And that's part of what motivates me to keep singing, is to get that top E flat so I can sing Christine. So, yeah. And some of my other favourite musicals are Legally Blonde, American in Paris, Hamilton, West Side Story. There are too many to name. Every time I try, and it's like that thing when you try and think of things that you love, your mind just goes, but so many. I will leave some listed here if I remember any more that I actually really love. My favourite animal is a bunny. I love bunnies. I've loved bunnies ever since I was a little girl. My first toy that I ever got given that I still have is he was pink, he's now grey, rabbit called, inventively, Mr. Bunny, because children are creative that way. And I have had 3 rabbits in my lifetime. The first was a little grey one called Fluffy Cloud, and the other 2 were little dwarf cross. One was a dwarf cross lionhead called Simba, and one was a dwarf cross Old English called Moon. And they were so cute and adorable, and they both passed away in the last year, which was really sad, but I loved them so much. I am definitely a hot weather person. I hate the cold. I hate it so much, but I'm also really terrible at being extremely overheated, so I don't really know what my body's playing at there. And I think that is everything for my fun facts about me. So I hope that this video was enjoyable or interesting, and that you learned some new things about me. If you enjoyed this video, then of course don't forget to click the like and subscribe. I will leave all of my social media in the description. Don't forget that you can follow me on Instagram at AveryVintageDarling. Follow me on Twitter at VVintageDarling, and you can follow my singing channel, which is Rhiann Kelly the Vintage Soprano. I love you all so very much. I hope that you liked seeing a little bit more of me, and let me know any videos that you would like to see in the comments, and let me know some fun facts about you. I would love to know some more facts about my regular viewers. And I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Au revoir!